Welcome to the 2020 Parrot Expo. My name is Chris Armstrong. This is Chris Penn. We're here to bring you radio telemetry with parrots. We're here in Hernando County, Florida. We have about a dozen flighted parrots, and we wanted to show you today what we're going to do. Chris?
It's going to be a very exciting day because we'll be able to discuss the many forms of many different ways, the way this telemetry helps us to enjoy our experience, interaction with our parrots.
Let's see what we got. Before we get started flying any parrots, we would like to show you the equipment that we're using, the radio telemetry that we use to keep track of our parrots. Hold on and we'll get that started right now.
This is the Marshall system that I've been using to help keep track of where Kolohe is out in her adventures, and it helps me feel rather confident even whenever there's times I'm not able to actually have a set of eyes on her. I can, just like this screen here shows, it shows her over here, and I was able to walk down and check up on her, and then I went back and continued what I was doing until she was ready to come back. And this system really allows you to feel a lot more relaxed and at ease when your parrots are out there enjoying themselves. Now, this is also my actual kit I got from Marshall, and it comes with I got the turbo transmitter with 3 batteries and the pocket link right here. The antenna screws right on top of that, real simple to assemble when you're out there. And then this little magnet here is what you press up, and it gives indication whether your pocket link is on or not. And this color will change as the battery is getting lower, so that way you're not out there worrying, rather, hey, how much battery do I have left? And then on your screen right here, when you have your battery in here, you'll have a little symbol that tells you how much battery life you have left on your transmitter. And so it's very reassuring to you as when you need to bring your birds back in, and also where they're at, and you can change multiple settings on the batteries to make them last longer, days if needed to be. I just find it for this kind of a hobby, I find it very enjoyable to have something that's a little bit of insurance for me to be able to recover my bird if something was to chase it off.
To get started, I would like to show you the Marshall equipment that I have here in use. I have various types of trackers and mounts and equipment to share with you that's used on different sizes of birds. So let me get started. This is our Marshall equipment and the case that it comes in. We have several trackers that we use. We have the GPS turbo trackers. We have a couple of those, and we have some standard GPS trackers. The difference between those are actually just the range and the distance that they can travel. The turbos are said to have up to 100-mile range, line of sight range, whereas the standard GPS have about a 30-mile line of sight range. All that depends on your environment, absolutely. We have some other types of trackers. We have some of the micro UHF trackers that we use on our small birds. They weigh a mere 3 grams. The GPS trackers actually weigh 9 grams, as complete with battery. We have UHF trackers, which are the micro trackers. They're not UHF. They're not GPS. They're UHF, as in this larger RT UHF tracker. This is actually designed for a leg mount, a easy twist. Marshall actually makes training units that you can actually buy a training unit to put onto your bird before you put on an expensive tracker, to make sure that they can acclimate to it well, reinforce good behavior. To show you some of the other equipment, here we have the pocket link, which the transmitters talk to. We have rechargeable batteries that we use for the transmitters, and the easy twist battery tops. We have the Marshall field receiver so that we can pick up the UHF signal for either the GPS trackers or the UHF trackers. We carry spare antennas in case we need them, as well as, I'll show you the feathers. These are actually what the GPS and transmitters actually clip into. I'm going to take a transmitter here and stick it on here. Stick it right in there, and that's how it'd go in the feather. And it hang on, and it doesn't come off. We've used it lots of times, and to take it off, it's pretty easy. Squeeze it and pull it off. Here we're showing an example of an extra large tail mount beside a large tail mount. I'll often ask, what size of tail mount do I use? Check your mount. Check your feather, and as you can see, the feather thickness has changed with the shaft. So depending upon where your preference is, where you'd like to mount the transmitter, mounting it down lower allows easy visual access. You can get it on and off pretty easy. I like mounting them up higher so the transmitter stays hidden up under the wings a little bit. So when they're crawling through the trees, I believe there's less likeliness that it'll get caught or snagged on anything. We have batteries. Besides the rechargeable batteries that come with the GPS, the RT units do use regular batteries. We have those for the RT, and we have these little ones for the micro transmitters. Tail mounts. We have tail mounts of different sizes and end caps, even tail mounts for the little tiny birds. Sun conures we use these for. It comes with cables. It can plug into your car lighter to charge all your equipment. And the Marshall app that comes with the system. So now that we've shown you the equipment that we use, we're going to show you how we use it. We're going to show it in actual use.
All right, I'm showing you how I get things ready for when I'm going to go out for a day of flight. And this is how I open my Marshall app up, and I push the button, and it finds my location. And once it's found my location, then I proceed with getting my pocket link assembled and turned on. Use the magnet. It comes up that it's on the display. And then I need to make sure my turbo transmitter, my transmitter has found its GPS signal. And you always check that before you put it on the bird, so that way your bird's not out there and it's like, oh no, I don't have signal. Screw on the battery, and once you screw the battery all the way on, the light starts indicating and it'll give you red flashes, and it'll go to blue once it's located a satellite. And then you'll show up on the screen shortly once it finds it. We can edit out this pause. And once it shows up on my screen, it gives me a blue signal on my turbo actual transmitter, and then it gives me a beep on my screen, so I know I'm ready to put it on the bird. And I'll go ahead and I double check my life of my battery. Right here on the screen shows you your percentage of your battery use, which I have none. It's a brand new battery. But it starts turning black in sections it's been used. And then this little arrow right here is what tells you you're reserved, or it will kick it down to where it's not sending so many packets of information, and your battery will last longer, and you can change that setting. So,
Okay, we're about to fire up the equipment and put it on a bird, let you see how we use this. I'm going to fire up my Marshall app. I'm going to fire up my pocket link. I'm going to grab a battery. Remove a protector cap. Notice how the pocket link has different colors and that it shows what's going on. It communicates with the transmitter. The colors on the transmitter will actually match the pocket link. It'll tell you the condition and the status of the transmitter. We'll turn it on. Okay, we're going to let it acquire satellite while we put this back. All right, the Marshall app has detected one of my 5 GPS trackers. Only have one active. It's not beeping or showing anything yet. And we're still waiting for the tracker to acquire. Oh, it just did. Right now, there's the blue light. There's our active transmitter right here. We just put that on the tail of the bird and the tail mount, and we're good to go. What's some functions that we're gonna leave this in a mode called economy. It gives you pretty good use of the battery. We can jump up to high definition. We can go to special extended usage. We can put the transmitters to sleep for a certain period of time or indefinitely until we choose to wake them up. We have lots of controls to be able to control the battery, what the extended update rate is. You can set it for 15 minutes or even up to 12 hours. You can set your beeping frequency. You set your battery, your reserve power. How much of your battery do you carve out for reserve? I have mine at 60%. Once my battery reaches a 60% level, it'll drop back my GPS signals to 1 an hour. And that all can be changed on the fly. Any of this can be changed on the fly to your transmitter. It keeps track of all kinds of wonderful things. Your height, your distance, your speed, and all kinds of metrics are available that you can select from. Climb rates, temperatures, angles. Really, Marshall's made such a really powerful piece of software and app to help us keep track and control our birds. Okay, now that we have a signal and a transmitter live and ready, let's go put it on a bird and see it in action, see a bird fly. before we get any of the birds out to fly, we always like to do an evaluation of our environment for the day. We look at the weather, the temperature, the sun, clouds, wind, rain. What do we have today? Listen to the sounds that we have in the environment. Artificial, man-made sounds versus the natural sounds from the creatures out there. Are the crows sounding? Is there anything in the environment that's telling us anything? What are we seeing? Are we seeing other birds? I can hear some of the other birds, but I'm not seeing any. Often I look for the little birds and I look at their behavior to see if they're carrying out their little normal daily duties without concern of predators. Everything looks fairly quiet. We look for risks now. Is there any predators in the environment? Do we see any dogs, humans, possibly hawks, crows? Is there anything in our environment that's going to be competing with us, competing resources that our birds are going to like? Certainly they're going to love sitting in the trees, especially some of our fruit trees like our loquat tree there. We're always worried about traffic, power lines. We have power lines out in front of the house. I see some power lines right over there. Buildings, the homes around here. Any air traffic in the air today? Airplanes? Not at the moment, but our environment changes from moment to moment. We always have to be watching for these things and being prepared in case there's an emergency. That's always critical. We have our radios for communication. We have binoculars. We have our Marshall receiver to look for the UHF signals. We have a little pack where we keep a knife and spare binoculars, a little saw, a little package that has flyers for each of our birds right away. So we can get a few out. We immediately take a flyer to Kinko's or wherever and get a bunch more flyers made if we need to. Our little pack has some toys that the birds are possibly familiar with. We have some leashes. We have some harnesses. We have some treats, target stick and clicker. I can't tell you how valuable of a tool this is. People that train know. Sometimes just your birds seeing this, they'll want to come play the game. They want to come touch that stick to get their reinforcer. So we bring as many different things with us as we can. Being prepared for an emergency, knowing your resources, know about Parrot 911 alert. They have a download where it can help you through a lost bird if it's gone. Check your local police, fire, traffic, animal control, wildlife, social media. All those are great tools. Carly, come here, sweetie. Good girl. Sit up, bend over, tail up. Good job. See that little tail tracker right there? Get that on there, like that. You're good to go. Step up. All right. Are you ready? You can stop.
Get your tracker tail on. Come on. Come on, step up. Step up.
All right.
All right, guys, you ready to go?
Carly and Kalohe are out of sight. So we're checking our GPS to see exactly where they're at. And exactly where Kalohe's at. Well, they're just sitting in a tree across from each other. Oh, Kalohe jumped to another tree, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll just watch for them to come back. We can't see them, but we know they're close by in a tree. And what direction they are. Actually, I look way out there. I think I might see a Carly girl. Carly girl!
Boy!
Carly girl! She's coming. I don't see her. There she comes. Come on, Kalohe. Come on, Carly girl. Good baby. Awesome job. Good girl. Your turn, Kalohe. Come on, baby.
Now I'm showing you how we're using this field marshal receiver to pinpoint our birds even closer, because the birds they're out and they've taken off in two separate areas. I know that they're in a general tree, but which tree is it? And with this, you can pinpoint exactly their location. And you got to be careful because it can bounce the same direction as your it can give you a false frequency, but it'll be lower, not quite so loud if you're in dead opposite direction. And so as you're pulling and scanning, it starts getting louder and louder. You can just hear and then sometimes you could find the exact position that your bird's sitting in the tree by giving a little twist to it, and it'll give you even a stronger bounce and a louder response to let you know where your bird, if it's sitting upright or...
Okay.
And so now we know we have Kalohe up in this tree here, and I can identify that particular pine tree in the back by the strength of the indicator, and know that that's exactly where she's at. And then I can actually come up close to the tree and pinpoint where she is in the tree by tuning this down to fine-tune your signal, so I can find exactly down to what branch she's on. You can find her with this. I wasn't 100% sure.
Oh, there goes Carly over to see her.
Yep.
All right, Carly's up in the same tree.
Hi.
Hi, you two. Thank you for going to check on her, Carly.
I think this guy's okay with us in the yard.
We may need to walk out to the street out here and recall them from out there. Or at least Kalohe. There she is. Oh, that's Carly.
Carly, yeah.
Carly girl. What you doing, sweetie? Come here. Good girl. Good girl.
Come here, Chloe.
Chloe, come on, sweetie. Carly girl. Woo! Where are you going? Where are you going, pretty girl? Hi. You're such a good girl. I love you. Go get her out of the tree. Go help her down, babe. Go get her. Hold on just a second. I have a red-shouldered hawk just flew right in. It's sitting on the tree right here, about 20 feet from Carly. There she is. Flew over Carly. Carly's not really giving a shit. Okay.
I just seen her take off through the trees, the hawk.
Okay. Good deal. Yep. He doesn't want any part of these big macaws. All right. I'm going to go back and feed the babies. It should only take me about 10 minutes. Do you want me to leave Carly out here to help you with Clohe?
Yeah, if you could.
Okay. You just radio me if you need me, okay?
All right.
We're actually flying at a new location for Clohe. So she is not really familiar with where she's at, but she's just, I don't know, 100 yards from the house, if that. We know where she's at. We see her on GPS. She's not going anywhere. I have Carly sitting in the trees right over here. You going home, Carly? Come on, sweetie. Carly girl and I are heading back to the house to feed some babies. It's that time again. And Chris is sitting over with Clohe. And there goes Carly. Okay. We're off to another adventure. Carly girl! Good girl.
Went home this time.
Good girl. Okay. There she is. Hi, Clohe. Hi, sweetie. Spot you. Come on, sweetie. Hi, Clohe. Good girl. Come on, sweetie. Good job.
Oh, good job, good job, good. Oh, no.
Good girl. Come on, Clohe.
You could do it. You could do it. I see you. Come on. Come on. Come on. You could do it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Come on. Let me get the cup of water. I'll get the cup of water. Come on. Come on.
As the sun sets, Clohe is not far away. She's in a tree. Chris is by her. So everything is well. Good morning. We are out. Have been out after first light. Waiting for Clohe, who's already took a big flight. and returned back up in the tree. So Chris is eating some breakfast. I want to go back and feed some birds. I'm not too far away. We can contact each other on the shortwave. And I'll be back to check on him soon, if I don't hear from him on the radio.
I got her back in. I wasn't worried at all. I know exactly where she was through the night. So, she's a good bird. Yeah. I love you, girlie. You did such a good job out there, yeah. You too, Loki. You guys did a wonderful job. Yeah. You were really, really good out there. Had a lot of fun, good exercise. Yeah. Yeah, you did. That was a great job. Yeah. Good job, Chloe. And you were a good bird too, Loki. Yeah. Really, really. Yeah. No. Here we go. There we go. Good. Chloe, come on. Good job. And another thing I found super helpful is whenever you're free flying around your house or locally, that places you know, is get to know your neighbors or the people in that area, and introduce your birds to them. They get excited seeing them, and it helps you retrieve them in case there is a fly off. I've also taken time when the police officers drop by to run, like for speeding tickets or whatnot. I took my birds over and introduced my birds to the policemen, and they know these ones belong to mine, and they do fly freely. So if they see them out and they're not out with me, then they know where I live. A great tip too is when you're doing your recovery, having everything with you, is make sure that everything's fully charged, because you don't want to get out there and your cell phone battery dies or your receiver dies. And so really make sure that you double check before you head out to even fly that everything's charged up good.
I want to thank my friend and fellow flyer Chris Penn and his macaw Kalohe for joining us today and allowing me to share this experience with everyone. I want to thank Debbie Goodrich, the Flight Club Foundation, and the Seattle Parrot Expo for having us back again this year. I want to thank our speakers and presenters and everyone that has done all the hard work that is making this year's Expo a big success. Also want to thank Marshall Radio for their world-class radio telemetry equipment. I want to also thank Susan Hilliard of Flying Colors Aviary for my introduction and training for using radio telemetry equipment. Stay tuned. We are going live at Percy Wings Aviaries next to let all of our free flyers out and show some flying. The Mighty Pie will be joining all of our big macaws.